Just found out my ex-wife has been feeding my kids turpentine every day because it is good for the body. Now she's screwed because I'm involving CPS. I found this out, like I do most things about life with their mother, through the kids, as communication has been pretty much non-existent between the ex and me since our split 6 years ago. Before anyone jumps to conclusions, no, I don't ever press my kids for information. I've worked very hard to establish an uninhibited, open, no topic off limits type of relationship with my kids. Even though I've only got them every other weekend, I want them to feel comfortable enough to fully express themselves and speak their mind freely around me. This has led to several discoveries about certain aspects of their life that their mother has asked them not to reveal to me, something I am very much against. I don't believe any child should have to hold secrets between their parents. It isn't their responsibility and is something I would never ask of them. That being said, they've come out with nuggets of wisdom such as we shouldn't be drinking tap water because the government puts chemicals in there that make us docile and obedient. Santa isn't real but Jesus is and the Bible is 100% fact. Controversial topic, I understand. And most recently that the government says turpentine is poisonous but it is actually good for you. What the hell do I do here? If I speak to my ex about this, she isn't going to have an honest conversation about it with me, and I fear that she'll just press the kids even harder to keep things from me. I don't want their heads filled with this rubbish, but I feel so powerless to stop this. All I can do is try to teach them to think critically, but that is only going to be so effective when they're getting told all this nonsense is fact. Help. Edit. I spoke to my children about it and recorded the conversation to ensure there was no confusion about what was being said. They were being fed a spoonful of turpentine every day by their nana for the past 4 weeks while they were all away on holidays, but there is zero chance my ex wasn't aware this was happening. Definitely turpentine. 100% pure gum turpentine, my boy said the bottle read. The distilled stuff, he said. They even started singing that Mary Poppins song. A spoonful of sugar helps the turpentine go down. Feel like I'm in an alternate timeline. Talk screen won't be happening until we get a referral. The Poisons Hotline has no literature on hand for chronic exposure to turpentine, but the kids don't seem symptomatic. We will visit either a GP or the hospital first thing tomorrow for a full checkup, and a report will be made separately from the medical mandatory report. I don't see a scenario playing out where CPS isn't getting involved here, and I can't have my kids medically assessed knowing that this has been going on. Currently preparing for the SHT storm that's bound to ensue. Update 1: the kids have been medically assessed. They've had blood work done, testing for liver and kidney function, as well as any other abnormalities, and have undergone some minor testing. Thankfully, everything has come back clear and they seem to be happy and in good health, apart from my daughter being a little upset about being jabbed with needles. There were, however, some very concerning statements made by my kids to the doctors who screened them, both with and without any family present. Everything said has been transcribed and documented in their discharge papers. CPS has since been informed of the situation. The situation has been reported to the police and a medical release statement has been filed with them. They told me they would remain in contact with CPS and wait for their lead. The kids are legally staying within the care of myself and my family until further notice from Child Services. At this point, I've had no contact with my ex since this all came about. I have a tip on a great family law legal representative whom I will contact shortly to discuss my steps moving forward, and about claiming primary custodial care. My family fully supports this decision, and we are all still incredibly shocked about this whole scenario. I am on the verge of having an absolute meltdown, but things seem okay for now. My kids are safe. I couldn't be more grateful for how supportive my family and friends have been over the last couple of days. Update 2. I'll start by stating that the kids have been in my full care since that first post and are very happy and healthy. The mother has placed the entirety of blame on the grandmother and remains steadfast in that stance to this very day. The month prior to my post they spent camping as a family, the kids and their mom's immediate family. They spent that entire time in her care and there is no way she wasn't privy to what was happening, every goddamn day. The kids had a effing song to sing about it, all substantiated in statements taken from them. So as a few have speculated, yes, this happened in regional Victoria, a couple hours from Melbourne. The hospital here could have taken the kids in for screening through ER, but they didn't have the facilities to actually test the blood work on site. The turnaround for a result, I was told, would have been a few days, possibly longer, as it had to get sent off. Alternatively, I could just wait until the following day to make the trip to the nearest facility that was capable of producing same-day results. We took that option. The kids were triaged the following day through ER, tested for organ functionality, and blood work came back clean. They were privately spoken to and assessed by on-site well-being officers, or whatever their title, and CPS was contacted through the hospital and a case opened. Note: yes, we do call them child protection here even though they operate under the DFFH banner, but so does community housing and disability support, in tangent with NDS, so do with that information as you will. It's a broad department. We left with the medical reports, which included statements given by the children, and holy F were they. We're being fed some wild facts about the world. That night I made an informal statement at the local police station stating what the situation was and the actions taken, just so they had it on record. For those tracking the chronology of all this, we are roughly 30 hours into the timeline from me first finding out. CPS conducted several interviews over the next month with all parties involved, as well as a house call to my residence. Not sure how extensively they interviewed the mom. They concluded the children unfit to be in the mother's care but were comfortable in closing their case should they remain with me full time. Surprisingly, there was no legal order put in place. Apparently they are happy to move on from a situation once comfortable with the results. Found a good law firm and started the legal process, which has been very slow due to a, unsurprising, lack of cooperation. Essentially though, we have restricted the mother's access to supervised visitation and removed her parental right as a legal actor regarding medical decisions. She has only seen them a handful of times in the 2 years following, despite constant efforts to facilitate visitation. The kids have had therapy and I've spent many hours talking to them over the last 2 years, helping them navigate their way through this. They'll have a lot of questions they'll expect answers for when they're older, I'm sure. Currently, we have managed to secure a scheduled visitation with the mother through a professional contact center which facilitates supervised visits. It has been an effing wild ride, but we are incredibly lucky and happy to have the strong family unit we currently do, including my partner partner and her daughter who have been next to us through most of this process. Please teach your kids it's safe to be honest and open.